Hello. Am I audible to you guys? Welcome to Hi. So I would like to welcome each and everyone whoever joins here now for this Central Finance webinar sessions. Just we will wait for 1 or 2 minutes because more of the participants are going to join. They have registers. Then we'll start with our regular classes.
Sure. Sorry, you're not audible. Seems you're speaking on mute.
Okay. Am I audible right now?
Yes, you're audible now.
Okay. So I say that just to make it more interactive webinar sessions, and since we are waiting, you can start with your introductions and how much new you are to Central Finance, or are you working on some CFIN projects? So I will start with the Rohit. Can you please put a brief description that how much you are aware of Central Finance, so that it will give me an idea that where I have to, touch the points and can let you know what is the CFIN all about.
Yeah, sure. Hi, this is Rohit Chopra. I'm a chartered accountant by profession and working in IT industry from last 11 years or so. So currently I'm working on S/4HANA 2021 implementation, which also involves Central Finance. This is my first implementation project as such for Central Finance.
Great. Other participants, would you like to introduce yourself? Because we are waiting for 1 or 2 minutes more to start with the sessions. It would be great if you can have an interactive session site.
Yeah, hi. My name is Rubal Segal. I have around 17 year experience in IT world. I'm working in like IT organization, and I have a good experience in also in Center Finance and S4HANA, and right now working in the go-to-market like solution innovation COE practice, where I have to work on the solutioning of the different clients on the RFP solutioning perspective. Along with that, I also involved in the capability perspective. So I have also provided like Center Finance solutions to my customer, right, on the RFP solution perspective, where we have to bid of the particular client side. So overall, I think have a good point of view, knowledge on Center Finance. But I think yes, definitely, I love to work on more on this skill. So good to have this session. So thanks for so that's why I'm just in this section for you. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you, Rubal. And thank you, Rohit, for your introduction. Kunal, you would like to say something? That's how much is your exposure to the Central Finance before coming to the session? Okay, it's fine. Anyone, if you wanted to give you a little bit of introduction yourself and wanted to know the audience about your past experience, how much you're new to the CFIN, would be great. But I'm just waiting for next 30 seconds. We will start with our sessions. Okay, let's begin with our this webinar free webinar session on the Central Finance. So, guys, you must have heard that this is quite a hot skill right now into the market. Whenever the big clients are moving for the CFIN implementation projects. So we will. Yes, Rohit, you have raised your hand.
Yeah. Can we know your name and can I have a small introduction as well if possible?
Okay. I actually I was supposed to start with that. I have a share PPT for that one, but okay, I will start. I'm just waiting for a few more guys to join. Okay, my name is Sanket Jha, and I have a total experience of 6+ years in SAP consulting work. I have worked with most of the big fours if they are in the market. And out of that 6 years, mostly I have worked on central finance implementations. Apart from that, I have experience in SAP S4HANA, SAP FICO, and I have been a part of FIC as well. By profession wise, I'm a BTech holder. I did my BTech from Bangalore, and I have keep roaming throughout the in pan India across the different locations for the IT industry, as well as a big four consulting firms. That's a small introduction about myself. I have worked with one of, you can say, top four central finance implemented client, which includes Philips, Heineken, Colitra, and Sale as well. I have a few experience on working on the BP, Central Finance Implementation Project as well. Is it fine?
Yeah,
Okay.
thanks.
Okay.
Thanks, Ankit.
Small housekeeping rules. I have already given sufficient times to know let us each other. Now I will be going forward. I will give you a 10 minutes or 15-minute question answer sessions at the end of the session. So you can have your all queries bundled there and can throw out all the questions to me. So till the moment, coming 30-35 minutes, please be with me. Try to understand that what we are trying to let you know in these sessions. Obviously, you all are experienced in central finance, having a proper experience, but there are some of the new capabilities that they have brought up in CFIN, which you may have worked upon or you might not have worked upon. So it would be a good knowledge sharing sessions for us. So the very first questions that you guys have come into the mind, what is the central finance? So, and it keeps buzzing out in the market right now. What is CFIN, CFIN, CFIN? I have seen guys putting in the resume that CFIN experience. So why it is of so much of importance right now in the market? Okay, before going to the client, since you all are a consultant, what is the biggest challenges you will face? The first thing is that if you know, if you go to any business and tell him that boss, we wanted to implement central finance to you guys, they will ask, Sanket, my everything running on my ECC is running perfectly fine. So why you want me to for central finance? First things. Second thing is that you cannot directly ask him for the CFIN because you have to tell him the benefits of SAP S4HANA. Then you can tell him that, okay, how CFIN will help you to reach that goal or reach that level. So before actually starting with the central finance, I want to spend some 5 minutes time to understand what is the need of migrations. We all know that ECC 6.0 versions are working on R3 architecture view, where you have presentation layer, application layer, and database layer. Suppose Rohit, business comes and asks you that I need this report of all the customers that has worked, that has invoices max have spent most of the money with us in the last 5 years. Give me in 5 minutes. Can you provide that report in 5 minutes? I think no, it's not possible.
No.
You can say that all the data are not at right now in our database. It has been stored as some other system, that is BW business warehouse, and you have to perform all the ETL process to fetch the data from there. So that's not possible right now. So SAP before 2010 was working on some other databases, but from 2000 onwards, it has brought SAP HANA database into the picture, where all the data are being stored in the same database in which your R3 structure or business suits are working right now. What they come up with a new idea is that they brought up the SAP S4HANA. What is SAP S4HANA basically? Do you think that this is something database? No, it's basically a business suits which your application layer will be, converted to suite 4th generations, which will work on the database of SAP HANA. So here you can actually get the benefits of HANA database along with the new functionalities which SAP S4HANA, that is your business suite, has brought up in the picture. With advent of the time from 2010 onwards, and now we are in 2022, there are several changes that has been performed. And when you go to the business, you have to tell those what are the features of SAP S4HANA. Then after telling him the features, providing him the solutions of the existing problems with the help of the SAP S4HANA, you then talk about central finance, because CFIN is a stepping stone towards SAP S/4HANA. It's not something a separate product, because you all must be aware that Central Finance has a HANA database. It will work always in SAP HANA database, correct? So this is a rough diagram where I have tried to tell you that, okay, earlier what it used to be that the database was, data was getting OTL and OTAP. Are you aware of that? Online transaction process postings that has performed here will come to here. And for the analytics products, OLAP, all the data had migrated to BW. Both OLTP and OLAP processes are being performed right now in SAP HANA database with the help of SAP S/4HANA, that is application layer, and that is called a business suite. So this is a bit of, the background of Central Finance. Why Central Finance? Why Central Finance now? We will discuss more about it in the coming slides, but till now, just understand the concept of this slide. So first thing that you will let to know the business is why SAP S/4HANA. SAP S/4HANA is basically a business suite, which is work as a basically application layer, which use HANA database. It provides you the embedded and simplified process, reconcile FI and CO documents, new asset accounting is available. Since your all the OLAP and OLTP data are present in the same database, you can perform group reporting, new cash management, faster closing, intercompany reconciliations. It also provides you the new user interfaces like Fiori, through which you don't have to install a separate software that as you're doing as a SAP GUI as of now. So this is the all feature that you need to tell to the business before coming to the Central Finance. Now, when the business understands the idea of what is S/4HANA, then you just let him know that, boss, we are having 3 different deployment options. What are the 3 deployment options? First one is the greenfield implementations, where you have a different business working, which is not an SAP at all, like JD, PeopleSoft, something like that. And you can directly move that deployment to new SAP S/4HANA system. Then you have existing ECC versions there. You can update or upgrade this version ECC, that is called a system conversion. Then there is a unique deployment options, which is called SAP Central Finance, which can work on both on-premise and cloud. And then it does not disrupt your existing business. The very important point through which we are able to, as a Central Finance consultant, we are able to bid and win that Central Finance deployment options, is that your existing scenarios, existing business, existing landscape is not, disruptive at all. And you get the benefits of SAP S/4HANA Finance without data actually get migrated. Your all operations and performance are taking place at your ECC systems, but you can reap the benefits of SAP S/4HANA with the help of the Central Finance. So the very first questions that have come up now, that question will come out that, okay, it is the deployment options, agreed, but what is the exact descriptions for the Central Finance? So the Central Finance is a system of finance that creates a single financial source of truth for executing reporting and finance process among the disparate financial applications, and way to reap the benefits of SAP S/4HANA without the full-blown data migration. Let me simplify it further for you. So when I say a single source of truth, what does it mean? It means your all FICO data, relevant data, will be available at one place, and every team like consolidations, reporting, and your cash management teams all will be able to the same set of data. There is no separate place that it is going to be held on. Earlier, what used to be, you used to run a batch jobs in the night to send the data from ECC to BW systems. And then for the reporting purpose, they were using some different sets of data from different systems. Similarly, there used to be vice versa. They have to come up for their online posting something or smaller period interval of times that transaction process. These data are getting stored at your database system, and the previous year's data must have been sent to the BW system. So when at these places, what happens that all of your data is present in HANA database, and from the different your landscape, suppose all those landscape, it may be ERP, non-ERP, SAP, non-SAP ERP systems. You bring the data from there and you keep the data at a one point. That's the way of creating a single financial source of truth. And you always get the benefits of SAP S/4HANA because all your database is migrated to S/4HANA. You can get the features of embedded processing, which we will discuss in the next slides. Next, these slides will let us know that why central finance, when central finance, and how it works. So as I said, it is a deployment option for SAP S/4HANA, and you needed to have a separate license for that. All the boxes will be SAP S/4HANA itself. What does it work? Like what is the benefit ever having a CFIN? Replications of the financial transactions from the source systems. And then it provides a common reporting structure through which your data across the landscapes can be found in a single table that is called AC Doka table, and you can get a reporting structures from there. When you just recommend a client for a CFIN deployment options, most of the clients throughout the world, I'm talking about the Fortune 100s, they must have a heterogeneous system. Most of them, I'm not saying out every of them, but most of them would have, because they have started their business a long back. They have a different versions. Even in ECC 4.7, they are updating. So if you ask them to, okay, migrate all of them at first to S/4HANA and telling the benefits of that one, they might not be convinced at the very first go. The reason being is that it's take a huge amount of infrastructure and cost to update all of the system to S/4HANA system. Then they don't even trust that, okay, everything will get disrupted. So just to provide them the idea, the taste of that, okay, they will not change in your data model. You can, generate the reportings from these existing data, operational data on a day-to-day basis. Operations will keep as it is. You don't have to interrupt anything with that. There's no point as of now to you for the user trainings, okay, you have to validate all those things. And at the same time, you can tell that, okay, this is a reporting that you can generate from the central finance perspectives. Now, how does it work? It connects source via the SLT and through the RFC connections as well, with the mapping source data transfer to harmonic data structures. You may have a different data, options available at different landscape systems, and you have this possibility of harmonizing those as well. This is the slide where we basically go to the business and tell them why central finance and why now. 6 points. You can see. Are you guys able to see on my screen? Can you read it? Any yes or no would be appreciated if you can able to see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the 6 basically, well-derived, you can say, KDD sessions when you go to the business to provide them pitching for a central finance. So what actually it helps you is synchronize the data. You may have a different sets of data harmonizations. For example, you may have a payment term. I'm talking about especially the payment terms, which may have a same values, but different names upon the different landscape system. But the properties remain same. As of that, because the business at a different continent level, or you can say at different hierarchy level, but at the time of creating the payment term, they might have created a similar characteristics but the different names. So it is an unnecessary data, sometimes you can say, in the system. So you have the possibility of data harmonizations. When you bring data from the different landscape systems, you bring with the help of the mapping values, where you actually brought the data there with the help of what you really require in your reporting system. Then it's the automations, zero touch in finance. Your everything is in the same table, so you don't have to alter any values. Business model evaluations. This is the era of merger and acquisitions. Each and every day, your new mergers and diversities has taken places. So you can use the central finance in terms of your merger and acquisitions. There is a separate, topics that has been delivered in central finance, that how new mergers and acquisitions has been, key driving force for central finance implementations. Because as central finance supports both non-SAP ERP or SAP ERP systems. So even if you get a non-SAP ERP systems for your merger acquisitions, it is very handy to use it and get the data in your required format, and you can use it for the purpose of reporting and the consolidations. Then there is a process of simplifications. As you can see that the Fury app moving to the cloud options is available, rationalization, system decommissionings. You are doing a payment now. As of now, suppose that you have a 10 landscape system source kernels. As of now, you process a payment, your automatic payments from different 10 logical systems. But when you have a central finance central payment activity systems, you don't have to perform for the 10 different source kernels. It will be done through the one target system CFIN box, and it will go for all the relevant company codes that you have set up. Then you talk about the transformations. When business has been transformed, new enterprise digitalization has comes, and you must have heard in your day-to-day life common data model that we talk about a lot when we go to the CFO, CEOs, and something like that. So in that process of building for the central finance transformations, that is one common data model will be implemented for your business operations. You have to bring every data that much requirement, not unnecessary redundant data will come into the picture. Okay, moving way ahead. What is the next slide that we are covering? So this is the market situation of the central finance projects right now. If I say, you can see this is the different industries in North America is more than, this is the data from the 2020, but latest data for the 2021 has also been released. I have not been able to update that one, but more than the 60% projects in the North America is going, either have taken a license or they have active live with the central finance implementations. These are the different sectors you can see on my screen, where more than 10 plus systems. You can see number of SAP systems that they had more than 10 plus, 34% they are going for a CFIN implementations. So we have talked a lot about right now, what is central finance? Why central finance? What are the different processes that central finance has brought up together? In these slides, or coming to 1 or 2 slides, we will talk about a little bit of central finance architectures. So you can see what all financial data are being replicated from CFIN, from the source kernel to the CFIN. Remember one very basic things about the central finance. It's just not a database migrations. What it actually does is that it recreates the postings that would have been done in the same way as it would have been performed in the source kernel. When I say recreate, it means that data, while postings, it will require all the required configurations. So the idea of central finance implementations right now in the market is that you first start with your basically having a recreated data in your CFIN box. Once you are comfortable with the data, the reporting, consolidations, group reporting, planning, and similar other processes, then you activate your S4HANA finance, and then you merge the logistics as well in the protocol. First 1 or 2 years we'll go with the replicated data that is actually a recreated data. Now coming to the parts. So these are your ERP systems. You can see that your cost object, FI documents, CO documents, PC documents, product costing, and product WBS. These all are getting replicated as of now on the latest versions of the CFIN. You can see the cost object comes, FI postings comes, controlling documents come, PCA also comes, commitments are coming. Now, one of the best thing is that earlier, when you go to the market, you say that, okay, my logistic data is not available in central finance. So SAP has come up with this answer that also, that right now you can have your all relevant accounting, AVL is basically accounting view of logistics, where all the logistics informations will be available in the CFIN box as a separate table database. So your customer invoice, purchase order, and their supplier invoice, all table data will be migrated to CFIN that will be used for your reporting purposes. Similarly, your projects, material cost estimates, all these things are now active and are working for a central finance project. We will deep dive in a little bit more into CFIN perspective, that how does actually it works. So these are your both source, target, and your SLT is the middleware through which you bring the data from source kernels. Source can be ECC, SAP S/4HANA, non-SAP, any other ERP systems. And it is not necessary that you have SAP ECC. You can have a before versions as well. And just for your knowledge, if you are aware of what is exactly going in CFIN, SAP has, earlier told the market that you need to upgrade your below ECC 6.0 not versions, but now they are using it as a pilot project where even the 4.7 ECC versions can be supported without getting migrated to SAP ECC 6.0. So that functionality has come up with the help of this SAP's new nodes or functionality, where you can upgrade your SAP 4.7 as well, ECC version. So through the SLT, you get data into accounting interfaces. That is benefits of SAP S/4HANA, as documents are getting replicated to Universal Journal, that is your XCDOCA tables. And then you use the compliance reporting from the available data in the CFIN box. How the SLT is working as a middleware, basically it works on the read and write engine concept. You must be aware that. So whenever there is a database that needs to be brought up to the central finance side, there is an staging tables that will be get updated with the help of the main SAP data tables. The database will be triggered, and the SLT by RFC, it will read the data that has been changed and it will brought up to SLT. Then the proper business mapping will take place at these places. Through this place, perfectly the structure would be compared, like in ECC version, what is the structures for the BKPF, and similarly it will be produced in a format that can be accommodated in XCDOCA table. Similarly, you can see there is a non-SAP system also. Extraction and mapping will be performed before sending the data to the SLT server. And then you perform the read and write engine and send the data to the accounting interfaces. So when the data will reach to the CFIN side, you have AIF there. AIF is a basically application integrated framework, which will work as an error handling tool. All those mappings, if are available, it will let it go for the postings. And if it is not, then it will throw an error that, okay, boss, this is the error for before the posting the document. You first have to resolve that error and then you can perform the posting part. And top of the part, you have SAP MDG, master data governance, through which you can control the master data. That is a very key important aspects of central finance going live. If you don't have a proper architectures to bring the data for relevant to master into CFIN perspective and proper mapping, then you might get most of the errors while replicating a document from the source to the target. And before that, I would like to explain one more topic here. So what is the best way of CFIN implementations? When someone asks you what you do as first part. So any answers that what you are going to say?
Check the different versions of source systems.
Yes, and as I said, that is a very key point that you have to tell to the business that, boss, you have a different versions of SAP non-IRP systems, and through which you can, if you want to upgrade to SAP S/4HANA, it will give you a more cost to implement every system to SAP S/4HANA. Or if you want to a single, then you have a data disruption process. So you can always opt for a CFIN process, and then you think of SAP S/4HANA. Remember, as I said in the very beginning, Central finance is just a stepping stone. It's not the destinations. Destination is SAP S/4HANA complete finance plus logistics. So whenever someone try to confuse you by saying that, okay, I'm not getting the exact values, telling them, boss, it is just a stepping stone. So all the operations will be taken care in your ECC system. For the reporting perspectives, you are using central finance box, and then you have to go to SAP S/4HANA for the complete operations for the reporting. So this is in the middleware as called as a stepping stone. Okay, coming to the part that I can tell you, the out of Fortune 100 companies, 30 companies have already taken the license for the central finance implementations, and or they are already working on that discovery phase. Our 70 is already in touch with either one of the consulting firm or either one of the IT industries to explore the idea of having CFIN into the system. Next, coming 10 years is the time when the central finance will boom in the market. CFIN has a very important role in the market, whoever is using SAP ECC right now in the system. It will not be a day change that, okay, someone will come up from the bed and say that, okay, I have SAP S/4HANA systems live and it's working fine. No, it won't be able. For example, I'm talking about a client who is a BP who has more than 160 source kernel systems. Do you think that it's very easy for them to go for SAP S/4HANA migrations complete? Obviously, no. They will first work for the CFIN, and they will have a CFIN projects for 4 or 5 years. A company like Volvo, they might have an have a different logical systems across the globe. DB Schenker is one of that that company who has 1,000 systems, SAP, non-SAP ERP systems available. It's not easy for them to go for SAP S/4HANA in one day, or even for the long period. They first have to come to the CFIN. That's why SAP has very smartly produced this central finance into the market as a separate license product, and then they can use SAP S/4HANA. Because customers in the market are still hesitant to go to SAP S/4HANA directly. They wanted to first trust the data, trust the reporting, compliance reportings, and then they can go ahead. That's why if you see, even in CFIN, asset accounting documents were not supported, but they would be supported as has been suggested by the CFIN from the next version onwards. Okay, so I can just pause for a bit, and then I will just let you know that how if you have any query, you can put your questions in 2 minutes times till okay. So do you guys, okay, if time permits, give me 2 minutes. Let me just let you know about that tech skill now, that we are a training partner with having an SAP systems available to us. If time permits, I will show you that we have a separate central finance box and ECC box where you can do a complete hands-on. When I say hands-on, it's type of mini project that you have to create a company code at both the side, do the data replications. We have a separate SLT license as well. You can see that how actually documents are getting, recreated at the target end via SLT. So we have three different types of courses available for a central finance understandings. As for the time demands, we all need to be aware, as in this market, we have to understand the CFIN in depth, understand that why central finance, how actually works, what all does it support. And it's not that everything is very good here. Some things like park documents are still not supported. So SAP is already working in that phase where everything will bring into the CFIN boxes. And once the customer trusts that CFIN, then they can go for SAP S/4HANA complete upgradations. Okay, so we have our 10 minutes question session answer. And before that, I just wanted to let you know that Tech Skill is already live with just some batches going for the central finance. You can enroll yourself with the technology, that web portal. And if you enroll in coming 2 or 3 days, there is some discounts also going for a live sessions where you will do complete hands-on. If time permits, as I said, I will just take you through the systems as well. So now we have a question and answer round. Yeah, if anyone have any queries, you can let me know. I can just give you answer for that.
Can you give? Can you put some more light on this connecting a known SAP system, a known ECC system, how it works?
So what happens here is the non-SAP systems. First of this, they have to see that, okay, how the data are formed in the non-SAP system. Then you prepare the different types of header tables will be there, which will create data as per your requirement. Like you should have a, credit debitor, header line items, which will correspond to your BKPF tables data structure format. You have withholding tax. Each data will be extracted in that format and put in a separate non-SAP system that will be created with the help of the technical team. Okay, so that process will that, okay, first you have to identify that which all data are required to brought up into SAP. You do a data mapping there at that place with the help of the technical teams. And this is the inbound staging tables. Okay, this is a predefined inbound staging tables and set of tables. Okay, just give me that few seconds. I will just share that video. Just right. Okay, can you see here architecture of the non-SAP sources
Uh,
on my screen? Are you
yes.
guys seeing my screen?
Yes.
Okay. See, you have asked a very beautiful questions. It's a very long topic. That's why I have avoided. But since you have asked, let me explain you how actually it works. So this is your non-SAP system, non-SAP ERP systems. Okay. Then you
Okay.
have an, this is a change data captures modules through which magnitude you can just create either a flat files as well. Then you do a discovery, extraction, and mapping. That, okay, what all data you require at this place in SAP S/4HANA place. You bring the data with after preparations. Okay, I want only header tables, account line items, what is the debit amount, what is the credit amount, what is the predefined tax, what's the withholding tax, what are the COPA characteristics that you can create it from there. These are the inbound staging tables. These data are brought from the non-SAP sources with the help of your extractions methods.
Okay.
If anything is a non-SAP ERP system, there must be those values. What is the debit amount? What is the credit amount? What's the tax that you are proposing? What is the COPA characteristic that you are using? You just map all those values in this staging database with the help of these tables. And this is a smart data access that is already provided by the SAP. Perfect. Now, after getting a data in these inbound string tables, the same SLT read and write engine will start working. Okay, database will get triggered. From here, you did some data changes. It will read via this data services server. That is a part of your magnitude. Suppose these data will come here in the staging tables and database will be triggered. Logging tables will be created at SLT sites. Then you do a read and write engines. All the data that is available here, it will come to the SLT in the read engines. Technical mapping with respect to the AC Doka label here, it will be done at this part. Then you just go and SLT will perform that your write engines where you just inbound interfaces, relevant interfaces, if the document belongs to accounting or controlling document, or it belongs to your cost object, something, it will go to that path. Then you must have a very good question. So how does the reconciliation work? Because this is not an SAP source, but you are reconciling the data at the SAP source. How it will get reconciled? So the reconciliations will take place between the staging database, your step 4, because at this place, in these tables, the data is in the SAP format.
Okay.
We are not going to reconcile at this place because this is a non-SAP system. So the 4 and 7 will be actually compared at a time of reconciliations. If it would have been SAP ERP system, so 1 and 7 would have directly been reconciled.
Oh, yeah, correct.
Okay.
What
So
are the step number 2 and 3? If you can please.
Okay.
Step number
2
2.
is basically that CDC is called a change data capture state, where anything that posting that in ERP data, suppose it must have something a database where you have putting some data there, any
Correct.
documenting data. So any data changes, whatever comes there, it may be posting, update, deletion, or something like it will be read by the step 3 real-time
And,
database.
and step 3 is a separate server or system.
Server, you can say service server or system that is either will be created by your technical RFC connections, or it can be bought up by the ADM team. Like there is something called tool called as Magnitude, or there is some tool as ADM, that is called Advanced Data Migration Tools. So they will do the discovery, extraction, mapping, data preparations.
It will be a
Once
separate server or just an add-on on any of
this
the
is add-on.
existing.
This is add-on, not a separate server.
And it will be placed. This add-on will be placed on SLT box or
No,
source system.
it's a just add-on system which you can place as source system also, or you can put an SLT as well. It depends upon what is your requirement.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the high level architectures, because when we were giving your training sessions, we will show you with the example that how these things have been segregated and how it has been brought up into the system. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Clear.
any other query you have right now? Okay, as I said, if you are interested on this CFIN course, you can register yourself, or you can WhatsApp the number on this techskill.com. You will have a complete hands-on where you can see both SAP, non-SAP systems. How does the data get flowed? You have a separate license for the SLT. You might not have seen in your project as a CFIN consultant, but you will learn here SLT perspectives as well, how that you can put a filter, how that loads take place, how actually, yes, Rohit.
Yeah. So let's suppose so we have said that SAP MDG will be there for this master data governance.
Correct.
So not all SAP clients go for MDG. Some of them go for MDM as well.
Right. Yes.
So let's suppose if my client they don't want to go with MDG but they want to go with MDM.
Mm-hmm.
So
you can have
how
that.
it will work then?
Okay, so then you have a step. You need to be at the time when the data or any master data change at the source system, it should be communicated at the same time with the target guys. Otherwise, it will run into the error. You should have a proper mechanism to track the data, master data change, relevant changes. And even if MDG is not there, MDGL light that is called, it should be there. That's why you are able to do the value mapping things there in a system. Map manage.
Okay.
Okay. So if MDG is not there in this place, any changes in the source side should be communicated at the same time. What does MDG actually does? Are you aware of that?
Yeah, we can at least govern the data, distribute the data from MDG to multiple source systems in that way.
So how does it work? If any changes you are trying to do in data, that will be done at both the sides, source and target side, with respect to the mapping. You don't have to separately go and perform mapping there. So if MDG is not in the place, and if you've done any changes in the master data, if your MDG is active, you don't do any master data change at the source side. You do it at MDG level, it will be communicated to the both source and the target. Correct. But in case MDG is not available, if there is any change in the master data at the source side, same should be communicated well in advance to the target side. Otherwise, the documents will fall into error.
Okay.
Right. Let me try if I can show you the systems. Give me 1 minute more. You wanted to see that separate systems, or it's fine that we are having in a training sessions when we it's not a theoretical training sessions, it's a hands-on project wise, when you have to create everything by your own company code, relevant data, you do relevant central finance configuration in the systems, and then you can go ahead with the document replications. You perform initial load by your own and see the test of central finance. Okay. Any other questions you guys have right now?
One thing you said, asset accounting is not supported. As per my understanding, we can custom replicate at GL level,
Yes,
not
yes,
at the
you
asset
can,
level.
correct.
Mhm.
So it's not
But what
coming
if it's
directly as a
central
asset.
aspect? Yeah, but then we have a concept called central asset accounting. But what is that?
Central asset account that is coming into the pictures right now. So you can get your asset documents, but at the GL levels, it's not directly in asset documents applications. If you have seen, there's no separate interface for the asset document applications.
Correct. Okay.
Correct. So what the SAP is now saying that the central asset aspects will that you can have directly those documents. They're working towards that.
So means I can then do my asset reporting from CFIN as
Yes,
well. in that
yes,
case.
that's the beauty of CFIN. That they are saying that okay, they are that though they have said that they will be by 2021, but it's still not there. But I think that with these latest versions, because I have some source from the SAP sites, they have informed that they're already have gone with the life at their systems, and they are trying to incorporate with the some notes and just do all these changes to the business as well.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else you have a doubt about central finance, how it is going to look, why central finance now, and something similar to that? Okay, you can always reach out to the IT guys for any query if you have regarding that training sessions that we are conducting. And you can avail the facility of complete hands-on on the practical basis in the systems. And you can also get some discounts as of 2-3 days registrations. If we are not having any more questions, then we can wrap up today's webinar. And there will be further more series coming where I will separately talk about central payments, CFIN architectures for SAP and non-SAP systems. Then we will talk about how does the SLT comes into the picture, what is the AF role inside that, and you can become an expert in these areas significantly.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thank
This
you.
wonderful session. Quite good learning.
Thank you everyone for joining and giving your time. I hope you like the
Yes.
sessions and you must have learned something new from here. Okay, then.
Okay. Thank you.
Let's meet next time, the next sessions.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.